guys, in today's video I am doing this. So I got inspired by a picture I saw on Facebook and I thought it looked really cool. It was this half like pumpkin, jack-o'-lantern, scary thing on this side, and it's not even half. There's literally just like an eye peeking out randomly. So yeah, I kind of just have like one random like smoky eye. So if you guys want to see this tutorial, keep on watching. So let's start off with just a blank foundation and contour on one half of your face. You don't even really need to do like a total half. I just did that little corner and then I carved it out with a cotton ball with some makeup remover, and now I'm going in to fill in most of my face with some orange water activated body paint. I also just want to say, guys, I'm sorry, I'm slightly like congested, kind of sick, so that's why my voice sounds like annoying. But I just really want to get this tutorial up for you guys, so bear with me as I keep filling in my face, and I'm keeping a couple blank spots for the nose and the eye. And now I'm going with some black cream paint. Personally, I prefer black cream paint when it comes on the eyelids, although it does crease really bad. It's just more pigmented, and then if you set it with a white or a black eyeshadow, it will prevent the creasing. Now I'm going in with water activated paints, and I'm kind of going back and forth between water activated and cream paints just so I can get really nice pigmentation and make it super comfortable. I don't like putting the cream paint everywhere, more just like straight on the eyelids. So as I'm going back in with more cream paint, making it more pigmented, and then just going back and forth until I finish the eyes. And now I'm going in on my mouth. I'm only using water activated paints for this just because it's easier and it does not stick and it doesn't transfer. It's just gonna stay when it dries. So I'm carving out the bottom of the lips, and then I did the top lip all like jagged like a jack-o'-lantern. Originally I wasn't gonna do the teeth on the bottom, but then when I looked at it, I wanted to add teeth on the bottom. So once you line it out, I'm filling it in, and then you can go back in and add some teeth on the bottom if you want, like I did. Once I got everything filled in, I went on my eyebrows and I realized I need to block my eyebrows a little bit, so I quickly went in with some glue and a little spoolie and began to block in my eyebrows. It's not a super hard process, and here I'm just taking some water on my finger, and this is going to really help smooth down the glue so it doesn't pill and get all gross. I'm sorry, there was just like a big truck that passed by. But now I'm going in with some loose powder and a brush, and I'm setting that in, and then you want to do a couple layers of this. Now I'm going in with a mix of these black and red shadow from the palette from Kat Von D, but first I'm actually setting my face with some translucent powder. And then I'm going in with these black and red shades, and this entire palette is what I use for pretty much everything. So I'm going in with the black shade to set the eyelids and the eye triangle, just because we did use cream paints on the lids, so you want to set that with a lot of black shadow, and you want to use a pretty pigmented matte shadow. Now I'm going in with this green water activated paint since I forgot to do a little pumpkin stem, so I'm just super quickly doing a little like rounded rectangle, and I'm doing this to create the stem. Now going back in with the palette, and I'm using the red shade originally, and I'm using this just to mark little pumpkin like shadings, because you know how pumpkins are not smooth, they have little lumps and like rounded spots in them. That's what I'm creating with the red shade to begin the shading. The shading was a pretty big process and it took most of the time, but it did look pretty cool. So now I'm going in, once we have our areas marked, I'm going in with black cream paint. And this is the difficult part because you want to use a lot of cream paint because it's easier to blend a lot than a little, because a little, when you try to blend it, all it does is just like dry and stick. But if you use a lot, it like is creamier and it blends out easier. So I'm going in with my finger, and this was just the easiest way I found to do this with the cream paint. And after I draw a line going in sections, I just blend it out with my finger, and then you can go back in and add more cream paint if you want to make the shading darker, or if it just is it enough and you just want to add more cream paint, you just keep going back and forth. Once you have most of that done, or actually all of it done, obviously, I'm going in with the red and black shades again. First, starting with the red shade to blend more of the edges out, and then really focusing that black shade right in the center of the contours to really create a lot of depth and make it super dark. And you can also see I use a big fluffy brush and the red shade just to, once again, make it a lot more blended and kind of a rough blend at the same time. And now I'm going in with more black and deepening that, and now going in with a fluffy brush and this light orange shade, which is usually like a nice transition shade on your eyes, but for the darkish orange it actually worked really nicely as a highlight right down the center of the lumps, and I'm just using that. And then I do actually go in with a little bit of white shadow on top of that just to give even more highlight, just because the orange was kind of like a base, and then here I'm going in with the white shade just right on top, right in the center, to give more of a pop. Now I'm going in with this entire palette, once again using the same general colors, first starting with that orange shade, using that as a transition shade for the smoky eye, then going in with a red shade and using this in the crease to deepen the crease a little bit, and then you're going to go in with a little bit of black, actually a lot of black. It's such a pigmented black, but because we're using it on a fluffy brush, it will gradually build up to give a nice blend. And then I'm just using that and blending out into the red and the orange, and I'm just using that black and keep building it up on the lids to create a gradient smoky eye. Now I'm going in with a NYX black pencil liner, and I'm using this just on like the bottom half about of the lids, and this is going to really deepen up the smoky eye, and I'm just putting that down and then going in with a flat brush and more black eyeshadow, and I'm just going to use that to blend out the black liner as well as set it in place. Now I'm going in with more of that black pencil liner, and this is totally a me problem, but now that I wear contacts, I really don't like putting liner in my upper waterline, tight line I mean, so I just put it on my waterline and that's good enough. Now I'm going in with this Essence Superfine Liner Pen, and I love this stuff for creating the point of your wing, so I just go in with this on the edge and make the line, and then I go back in and connect and thicken up my liner with the next liner, which is the Revlon Color Stay liquid eye pen, and I just use this to thicken up the liner, like I said, and finish off the liner. Now onto my chest. I was debating throughout this tutorial whether or not I wanted to do body painting or not, so I decided to paint my entire chest orange just to make my look a little bit different. So I went in with the same water activated paints that I've been using on my face, and I went all over my chest. Then I started doing these like random swirls. I hated how they looked, so then I just put like spikes in the center, and I still hated the way it looked, so then I just wiped off the swirls and decided to make my entire chest into spikes, and I felt like that looked a lot better. So here I'm just creating really sloppy, I mean, not that I meant to make them sloppy, but you know what I mean, just like really quickly throwing them on. Nothing has to be super precise. You can make them all different and jagged because that is the purpose. Now it is time to outline absolutely everything. So I'm going in with some black water activated body paint on a super fine detailing paintbrush, and I'm outlining the face as well as adding some of these little cracks. I thought it added a cool effect, so it wasn't just like a blank line dividing the face, but the cracks just kind of looked cool, so it didn't look so stark. And I'm just pretty much creating like two little branches or whatever, and then I made the second one into this little hole. And the goal to make the branches look good is to not make them look like lines. You more just make them like kind of random and squiggly sort of. And then I filled in that little hole as if we were missing a little bit there. And now I'm going in and shading the rest of my body. So I'm pretty much doing the exact same steps that we did on the face, but I did not start with a shadow. I just went straight in with cream paint since I knew where I wanted to do the shadings. I pretty much just connected them with the lines we already had on the face and just dragged them farther down the neck. So I just really quickly do that. Now, once you finish all that, I'm going in with some translucent powder just to set everything once again, and then I'm going in with more water-activated body paint in black on a super fine detailing brush and outlining all these little spikes. Once again, it doesn't have to be super defined and precise. I kind of made a couple of them look a little curvy on accident, but in the end it looked cool and gave them more like character kind of, instead of just being like clown spikes or like stuff like that. It gave it a little more like spookiness. Now, since I completely forgot to shade our little pumpkin stem, I'm just quickly going in with a little pencil brush and some black shadow and just creating a little curve underneath the pumpkin stem to make it look like it's sort of sitting in the pumpkin and extending on top of the pumpkin like an actual stem does. So just doing a little curve mark, and then since you want to add a little texture and like bumps into the stem, just doing the same general thing we did on the face, adding some 2 little lines. Now I'm going back in and highlighting down the center of all of the little lumps down our chest. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did like this video, with a thumbs up, comment down below what you guys think, as well as subscribe to Become a Beauty and be part of our beautiful world. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye.